What do you think of the strongest point of the Arturia musical instrument comparing other musical instruments?
The sound quality, the usage, and also eventually the integration between hardware and software. Hello Korea, hello Seoul, so good to be back, to come back here, discover the creativity that is known all over the world for Korea and Seoul and K-pop and everything, every cultural changes Korea is bringing.
So it's a long time to visit Korea, so what is your first impression when you arrived at Korea and around your hotel?
Well, I felt a lot of dynamism, youth, in the area we are staying. It was amazing yesterday to feel all these young people enjoying, having fun, drinking, being together was a lot of fun.
So this is for the, from now, this is for the question for the Arturia brand and product. So what do you think of the strongest point of the Arturia musical instrument comparing other musical instruments?
Well, I think the three strongest points are the sound quality. We always try to offer sound excellence. This is one of our core aspects. I think the usage, we try to make playful, human-centered engineering, really trying to create instruments that are serving the user throughout the journey. And also, eventually, the integration between hardware and software is very important for us to empower musicians.
So now, the Arturia is now focusing on the stage keyboard for the Arturia's.
Yes.
So many people is very wondering about this product. So I'm asking, so why did you decide to develop this product? What is the behind the scene of the develop this product? Please tell us that behind the story.
Yes, for many years we've been developing synthesizers, software instruments, trying to serve musicians in this category. But we felt that the stage keyboardist was a bit left behind. If you look and if you compare the stage keyboardist with the computer music performer, it's very different. On the computer you can use many techniques for creating sounds, but on stage keyboard you don't have many techniques. It's basically sample-based solution. And also the ergonomics of the stage keyboard has not evolved for many years. While on the computer you have some very easy to use solutions, very practical solutions. Like Analog Lab, for example, is very simple. If you want to look for sound, it's much more simple. And also we felt like on stage keyboard we did not, until now, get the most out of the technology you can find in many other areas. If you look at cars, you can use your mobile app to do certain things. You have this in many other areas, but not so much in music. So we felt it was time to bring to the stage keyboardist a new generation of instruments, really offering the best of technology, but also allowing him or her to have more sounds, easy to use, being able to use the cell phone to pick for sounds, to be on the computer as well. And one of the problems also that was facing a musician, it's production on the computer and performing on hardware. It's very hard to go from one to the other. But with this one, you can continuously go from production to stage. And that was one of our goals.
Thank you so much. So there's very common question for many users. Yeah. Could you tell us the small kind of the information for new Arturia product?
Yeah. We cannot say everything, but we're working, of course, on the next generation of the step, because the step controller, it's a signature product for Arturia. We sort of invented the idea of having controllers that are also sequencers, like KeyStep, for example, or KeyStep Pro. And many companies came after us trying to do the same thing. So we are working on the next generation, of course, of the steps. We're also going to have in the future more about Astrolab. Other models will come as well. And yes, we're working on new software instruments, new software effects. So a lot of cool things arriving next year for sure.
There are, as I told you, Arturia is focusing on always making new kinds of the digital synthesizer and hybrid synthesizer. But you have a very good the technology by yourself.
Thank you.
So, but many the Korean users wondering for the classical and traditional authentic the classic musical instruments. So is there any plan to develop authentic the classical musical instruments?
Authentic classical instruments, there is no plan. Software, we're creating very sincerely and with great details. Classic instruments, yes.
So, and personally, personal side, so what is your most favorite the musical instrument of the V collection?
I still love very much the Minimoog V, because we worked on this one with Robert Moog. That was very important. It was one of our first instruments. I like the simplicity of it and the quality of the sound, which is really good. So this is really, I think, still my favorite. And we remade it several times to keep the high quality. As technology evolves, we could bring better quality year after year into Minimoog. So it's one of the instruments we're very proud of, for sure, Mini V.
And but many people already know because you have another interview in a couple of years ago. So please let us know the second one.
So Pigments is also one we love, because Pigments is our own vision of what a software synthesizer shall be today. It's very practical and it's very creative. So even if you're not very strong, you can make sound design with Pigments. So we think that everybody willing to make sound design now can do it with Pigments in a very simple way. Even if it's intimidating at first, this software is pretty great to use.
Great. So yeah, that is very interesting question. For in terms of design, so many people say Arturia, so product design is the most beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
In this industry. So is there your own the personal the philosophy of the design, and how do your team is cooperative with you when you have a product design?
We spend a lot of time working on design, for sure, and user experience as well. For design, the philosophy is really very close to the Bauhaus from Germany, last century, like Mies van der Rohe. It's design is serving the function. So design is at the service of the usage of the user of the function. So this is what is predominant in our approach. Then we work with designers, and it's always the tension between the engineer and the designers that is important. If you look at Apple, for example, the tension between Jonathan Ive, the designer, and Steve Jobs was allowing to create this great design that we have witnessed and we still love. And it's really important to have this meeting and this understanding between the conceptor and the designer to achieve great design, I believe.
Personally, so is there any rule for when you hire the product designer?
Yeah. We always look for new people because the company is growing. So yeah, we are always interested. And also Korea is a very strong, I think, design school and taste, which is influential all over the world. And I can really see this attention to nature and design, and some very, very strong, I think, character or identity for the European culture, for the Korean culture, South Korean culture.
So, and next question is, do you have any plan to use the new sound technology, not only sound technology, like AI technology or new technology? So do you have any plan to using the technology when you team develop the new musical instrument?
Yeah, we have a small team working on AI, machine learning, which made of PhD researchers in the company. Already we do use some of their technology for recreation of some parts of the synthesizers, for example. In the new Syntex V that we just released, there is a part that has been done by AI, but we think we can go further. We can probably help people find the sound they need or create the sound they need using AI, or potentially at some point help develop new sounds using AI prompts. But we are not there yet, so it's still the start of AI, and we will see what comes from there.
It's kind of the very similar question, but so how do you think about the new, the future of the technology to develop the musical instrument in this industry? So do you have any expectation for how to change the music industry. So how technology changed the music industry.
I think the music industry and musical instruments have always evolved with technology. Since forever. I think when someone started, hitting a ball somewhere, maybe 1,000 years ago, that was the start of music, and music has evolved with technology always. So I think new technology will always bring something interesting to the musician, and I don't know what it will be. Right now we're also working on using data to better understand the needs of user. We think AI will be a direction to follow as well. It's also true that we need to find ways to master the complexity, because technology brings power, a lot of opportunities, but at the same time, it's getting more complex. So we have to really make sure we can catalyze the complexity into something more simple for the future and create really meaningful instruments. At the same time, we believe that it's very important to keep the sort of organic approach. Instruments should not be systems. They have to be, like I used to play the violin, being very close to the violin, you feel there is vibrations, you feel the body, you can smell the wood. There is a very tight, strong connection with your instruments. When you are far away, it's difficult. If you are on your phone, it's very hard to have this connection, this sort of body and physical connection. So we think it's really important that musical instruments remain something quite physical, where you have some energy, some moves, etc.
So, and the last one, probably it's the last question. So, currently when I'm just taking on the book, so your sound design team is very, very interested in the K-pop sound and Korean artists. So, do you have any plan to make a good relationship with collaboration with the Korean artists?
We'd love to make more collaborations with Korean artists. We're a lot of fans of Korean artists at Arturia. We are very, very influenced also by the speed of the Korean scene and how things evolve in Korea. We don't speak Korean, so it's not always easy, but thanks to Sama and our friends here, it's easier to now probably work and create some sound banks out of K-pop. And all the Korean artists, creative artists, the new generation of artists in Korea, for sure.
Okay. Last one is very simple question. Say something to the Korean users for Arturia, because the Korean users are getting more and more than Korean users for Arturia. So just to say something to Korean users and to Sama as well.
Thank you very much, Korean users, Korean musicians, for picking Arturia. We try our best to serve you and to bring you instruments and audio equipment you can rely on that can make you more creative. You can trust us for going on and keeping this space in the future. It's also a great source of inspiration to see and to hear what you're doing with our instruments. So thank you very much for looking after us, and thank you for the aesthetics of everything you're doing in Korea, the avant-garde of the Korean scene, which is very important, I think, in the world. And thank you, Sama, our distributor here, for holding the flag for Arturia, for representing faithfully Arturia loyally, and making sure we can serve musicians, but also dealers and influencers the best we can in this market. So thank you very much.